Hello again, and thanks for joining. So today I've got a pair of old Märklin coaches to have a look at. Both of these I picked up for £10 a piece from the Falkirk Model Railway show, and I was really glad to get them. They certainly look in really good condition, and the boxes are not too bad as well. There's a couple of scuffs on them, as you can imagine, but these are quite old boxes now. So what we've got here is number 4176 and 4177 in the Märklin range. This one at the top says Deutsche Weinstrasse on it, which is the wine road in English, and that's a tourist route in southern Germany where a lot of German wine is made. The one below it is a second-class coach, and it has the Hapag-Lloyd Tours on it. I normally associate that brand with containers. I didn't know that they did rail tours, but I guess they did. Let's get these out the boxes and we'll take a look. So they certainly look in really good condition. I guess they're designed for Märklin's three-rail system, especially this one here, which has a pickup underneath it, which is one of these Märklin skids, and I'm guessing it must have some lights in it. I'll put some power onto this coach later in this video and we'll see if the lights work. For now though, let's have a look at this first coach here. So this design of coach has been around for a very long time. Märklin have done this coach in lots of different livery. This is arguably one of the nicer colour combinations of this nice silver roof, this cream band, and then this dark kind of blue-green colour below it. At this end of the coach there is a little bit of a problem with the cream on the corners here. It's not quite as solid as it could be, and it seems to suffer a little bit, especially underneath this plastic part which has been added on. Also doesn't have any provision for putting lights into these sections here, but I have seen some of these coaches from Märklin with lighting in here, so maybe that was a later addition. This gangway cushion thing is a separate part that's been added in black plastic, and it does have a kick down plate there as well, which is quite neat as well. The buffers here are hardly noticeable, but they are integral into the chassis part, which is made of black plastic. As we start to look down the side of this coach, the cream again has some issues, especially at the top part here, and the silver isn't very good either, so it looks as though the masking isn't so good between the two there. But what is really good is the silver surrounds against the windows, and they're almost flush fit as well, which is great considering the age of this coach. The lettering on here is crisply applied, and it also has this additional little bit of printing down here on the chassis in white, which is very clear and so small it's not even really readable with the naked eye. In the middle is the usual Deutsche Bahn logo and the running number of this coach, and we have some more printed details down in the chassis as we go along the length of this coach. You see this one has this window here blocked out on each end, which is obviously the toilet, which is a nice addition. But there is a bit of a problem with the painting around that as well. You can see that the cream is just bleeding a little bit into the darker colour there, and it's just not quite right. There's also no destination board, but there is a panel here moulded into the plastic for that if you wanted to add one. Around the doors, it's a very simple piece of moulding here. There's not a lot of deep relief, and I've certainly seen better renditions of doors on coaches. There's some steps coming down, just a single one here which is integral into the chassis. The other side of the coach is very similar, but it doesn't have the blocked out toilet window. The glazing is really good. You can see inside it has a full interior, and it's an open carriage, this one. It's moulded in dark brown. And on the roof, it's a very nice colour of silver that's been spray painted on here. It has some roof vents as well, but not a lot of features on this particular class of coach. Interestingly, there's no moulding mark at all on the top of this coach, so that's really good. Now looking at the bogies, there's a lot of really nice deep relief on these bogies, a lot of interesting parts. The wheels are solid and fairly free rolling. You can see that there's quite a lot of tarnish on these, and they do have large flanges, which I guess is just indicative of the age of this coach. There's even a little bit of rust here on the middle and the axles. The couplings can be removed and changed, but they're not in NEM pockets. It was long before that was invented. And here there is a screw which is holding this coach together. There's another one at the other end. In the middle there's a great rendition of all the little boxes, brake gear and other pieces moulded into here. It does stop at each end where the bogie is though, so that's not very convincing in this area, but it's certainly very nice in the middle. And the edges of this panel have been well produced as well, look really good. So this first coach isn't too bad at all. Let's have a look at the other one. So this is very similar to the first in many ways, but it does have a couple of differences. Here on the end there's a couple of different transfers. There's one set of numbers down here and an electrical flash over on the other side. This one does have an interior, but it's different to the first one in that it's a compartment coach. It's also moulded in brown as well though. Some printing here of second class and some other little logos, and even here on the door we have the door handle picked out in silver and this little handrail here picked out in silver. They're just part of the main moulding, but there has been some paint applied to them. Not very well, I have to admit, but at least it's there. And these differ quite extensively from the other coach because they have this large transfer here with the Hapag-Lloyd Tours logo on it. And down the other side, it has a different logo here because it's got a different location. And we also have a destination board printed on here. Again, not very well printed, but it's nice that it's been applied there. Underneath, very similar to the first coach. The only difference obviously is on the bogies. This one has the pickup coming here on this one. And then at the other end, we've got the large skid and an electrical connector going up into the lights inside this coach. So it will be quite interesting to see what it's like when we put some power onto this. So let's give that a go just now. Okay, I've just dimmed the lights a bit. I'm just using my H&M controller to add some 12 volts onto here. And we do indeed have some lights, which is really quite cool. So I think we should find out how much these coaches weigh. So the first of the two coaches weighs 141 grams. And unsurprisingly, the one with the lighting is heavier at 168 grams. So this pair of vintage Märklin coaches have been quite interesting to see today. I think for £10 a piece I got a bargain with these because they're in really good condition and they look as though they haven't had any problems whatsoever during their lifetime so far. There are some noticeable issues with them though, and especially so with the paintwork. I think it's actually quite sloppy of Märklin, even for models of this era. They seem to be really good with their painting and printing on models in general. These ones seem to be letting them down a little bit. Perhaps they were made to a budget, but I'm not quite sure. It might just be this particular design or this colour combination. Both of these two coaches have appeal in their own right though. The second class compartment coach has got those great graphics on the side and the lighting as well is really cool. The other one has the large Deutsche Weinstrasse logo on the side. It makes it quite interesting and it's something a little bit different to add to your collection. They're solid enough coaches, but they're not going to win any beauty prizes. But if you can pick these up for around about £10 each, I think that would be a bargain for you. Remember though, these only work on 3-rail systems, so if you have a 2-rail system, you're going to have to change the wheels on them. Let me know what you thought about my analysis of these models in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. And also if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel grow. I'll put these on the turntable so you can see all the way around. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See ya!